Honey, I'm home.
Remember when family sitcom meant things like laugh tracks, lessons, and hugging it out before the end credits? Now imagine all that, but with extinction. Welcome to Dinosaurs, the early 90s TV show that somehow made things like environmental collapse, corporate greed, and, the end of the world feel rather wholesome and even cute. You had Earl, Fran, Robbie, Charlene, and Baby Sinclair, a family that looked like they were taken out of a museum exhibit, stuffed into flannel shirts, and taught how to complain about the cable bill. On the surface, it was just another TGIF-era comedy, but underneath, it was a slow-motion apocalypse with puppets. So today, we're gonna dig up 10 weird, wild, and wonderfully dark facts that you never knew about the show Dinosaurs. And before we go extinct ourselves, make sure to like, subscribe, and ring that bell, because today's countdown is about to go prehistoric. Let's jump into that. Fact number 10, a show born from a dark prophecy. Long before the Sinclair family ever hit television, Dinosaurs began as a strange idea from Jim Henson himself. In the late 1980s, the Muppet creator was developing a new series that would use his advanced puppet technology. But unlike The Muppets or Fraggle Rock, this one had a much darker edge. Henson, who was deeply interested in environmental issues, wanted to tell a story about a species on the brink of extinction. A cautionary tale about greed, ignorance, and self-destruction. As he imagined it, the dinosaurs would live like modern humans, blissfully unaware that their own habits were sealing their fate. After Jim Henson's death in 1990, his son and the Jim Henson Company brought the concept of the show to producers Michael Jacobs and Bob Young, who then shaped it into a family sitcom for ABC. But beneath the jokes, the dark idea remained. Young later would explain that the show was always meant to end with the dinosaurs' downfall, a world that messed itself up. Every laugh, every slapstick moment was written by a team of people who knew that the end was coming. They just had to hide that truth under the bright colors and the puppet suits. Number 9, the real-life inspiration for Not the Mama.
The mama, not 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 the mama.
You do that one more time and I'm gonna throw you across the room.
Not the mama! Wee! Oof! Again!
Baby Sinclair's unforgettable lines, "Not the mama," and "I'm the baby, gotta love me," quickly became cultural shorthand in the 90s. But these lines weren't pulled from a writer's desk. They instead came from real life. Co-creator Bob Young says that when his third son was a toddler, the little guy would push his mom aside with a triumphant, "I'm the baby," and then jab his dad with a unknowingly cheeky, "Not the mama." Bob Young then folded that son's attitude into the character Baby Sinclair. Fact number 8, the impossible task of bringing Earl to life.
This big, kind of lantern jaw. And we softened that and made him kind of more of a chubby, kind of, a second chin.
When we changed Earl's aspect softened. He became less a barroom brawler than he did a dinosaur everyman, which is what we always wanted to do.
Watching Earl Sinclair trudge home from the tree-pushing job felt like regular sitcom stuff itself. Until you remember the guy inside the suit. The character Earl was brought to life by a team. Bill Beretta operated the full-body dinosaur suit, while off-camera, puppeteers handled his face and mouth, all while voice actor Stuart Pankin delivered the voice. The result was a literal split across 3, sometimes 4 people, coordinated to move as one character and as authentically as possible, of course. The suits were so intense that one actor reportedly shaved his head to fit the mold, turning physical comedy into quite an athletic feat. Number 7. The production was a marathon, not like a sitcom. This wasn't a half-hour joke fest with built-in bubble sets. Dinosaurs was more like a filmed theatrical episode. The Henson Creature Shop built full-body animatronic suits, entire sets mimicking Pangea, and every scene required multiple puppeteers, rigging, and hydraulics. Industry observers likened it to movie production. Dozens of crew members, complex logistics, and a budget that pushed the limits of what a weekly sitcom could normally sustain. Unsurprisingly, the show lasted just 4 seasons, with its bold ambition being both part of its shine and part of its downfall. Fact number 6. The set of Dinosaurs was a top-secret, no-fly zone. During the show's first season, Dinosaurs was filmed under unusual secrecy. Production took place at the Jim Henson Creature Shop, part TV studio, part special effects laboratory, where enormous animatronic suits and puppetry rigs filled the stage. Producers, being led by Michael Jacobs, reportedly kept tight control over who was allowed on set. They wanted audiences to see the Sinclairs as a real family, not just puppets attached to cables and animatronic machinery. Any stray behind-the-scenes photo could risk shattering that illusion. The secrecy at play here wasn't just about protecting the effects. Rather, it was about protecting the emotion. For the satire really to land with the viewers, the audience had to buy into these creatures as relatable people with things like jobs, kids, and dinner table arguments. And once that connection was made, then the writers could slowly peel back the comedy and reveal the show's deeper message: that the lovable Sinclairs were living in a world and were a species quietly marching towards their own extinction. Number 5. The show's secret weapon, the unisaur.
Hi, kids.
Hi, Mr. Lizard.
Hi, Mr. Lizard. What are we going to learn today?
Well, Timmy, what do you think would happen if we mix potassium nitrate,
Ooh.
charcoal, and sulfur?
Gee, Mr. Lizard, I don't know.
Creating new puppets for every background character would have cost a fortune. So the Henson Creature Shop came up with a pretty brilliant shortcut. Enter the unisaur. This single, full-body dinosaur suit could be reused again and again, with small changes to the head, the scales, or coloring. The same body might appear one week as Gus Bullhill, and then the next week as Frau Woodhouse. Or even a one-off cameo voiced by a celebrity. Guest stars like Jason Alexander, Jeffrey Tambor, and Tim Curry all lent their voices to these unisaurs, giving each recycled character brand new life. It was a pretty clever cost-saving trick that fit perfectly with the show's world. In a society ruled by the We Say So Corporation, where conformity was everything, even the background dinosaurs were literally cut from the same mold. Number 4. A vegetarian dinosaur was a hidden metaphor. The show Dinosaurs oftentimes tackled serious ideas behind its rubber suits. And one of the boldest examples of this was an episode titled, "I Never Ate for My Father." In this episode, teenage Robbie shocks his meat-loving dad by announcing he's becoming a vegetarian. On the surface, it's just another silly, funny premise. However, underneath, this episode is about identity and acceptance. Robbie's decision and Earl's confusion mirror the tension of a parent struggling to understand a child who's different. Many viewers and critics alike have since interpreted this episode as a quiet metaphor for coming out. A story about finding the courage to be yourself in a world that expects conformity. In the early 90s, very few live-action shows would have even dared to touch that topic with a 1,000-foot pole. But by using prehistoric characters, Dinosaurs managed to explore it right in plain sight. Number 3. The show was a canceled movie in disguise. Before Dinosaurs became a TV sitcom, Jim Henson actually had a far different vision. A feature-length film tentatively titled The Natural History Project. Designer William Stout explained that the project would have featured animatronic dinosaurs in a serious but nearly silent story. The creatures wouldn't be talking. Warner Brothers reportedly committed around $25 million in development funding, plus millions more for research and design. However, this project was in the end canceled. Stout claims one reason was that The Land Before Time, backed by Spielberg and Lucas, was already in development, a competing dinosaur theme that snarled Henson's chances. When the film died, the idea didn't just simply vanish. Instead, it evolved into Dinosaurs, a sitcom built on Henson's design work, his puppetry DNA, and his darker environmental themes, masked now by family comedy. In a sense, the TV show Dinosaurs became a strange compromise. A family sitcom that was secretly rooted in the bones of a canceled, serious dinosaur epic. Fact number 2. The final episode was actually aired out of order. The dark finale of Dinosaurs, an episode titled Changing Nature, aired on July 20th of 1994, the moment when Pangea collapses and the entire world freezes over. But for some viewers, it wasn't actually the last episode they saw. According to episode list records, several lighter-hearted episodes that were produced earlier but had not yet been aired were broadcast after the finale, especially in syndication. That means you might have watched the Sinclairs facing doom one week, and then the next week tuned into them just hanging out at home like nothing happened. It's an unfortunate and rare sitcom moment. An apocalyptic end, followed by a soft rewind of normal life. The effect? A very surreal epilogue that undermined, for many fans, the full weight of the show's intended conclusion. Number 1. The last words ever broadcast were a chilling goodbye.
Rain's forecast, continued snow, darkness, and extreme cold. This is Howard Handupme. Good night. Goodbye.
The series finale, titled Changing Nature, ends not with laughter but with total silence. As the world freezes outside, Earl admits to his family, and especially to Baby Sinclair, that his mistakes have doomed them all. "I'm sorry," he says, as snow begins to fall through the window. "I didn't know what it meant to take responsibility." Then the scene shifts to the Dinosaur News Network. Anchor Howard Handupme sits in a dark, freezing studio wrapped in a parka, still doing his job as the world is ending. He looks straight into the camera and says, "And so we say goodbye. On behalf of the entire news team, good night. Goodbye." The screen fades to black. No music, no laughter, just the quiet suggestion that even the end of the world would be reduced to a headline. One perfect but final moment of devastating irony. And one of the coldest farewells in television history. So there you have it, everybody. 10 weird facts that prove Dinosaurs wasn't just another family sitcom. This show was a special Muppet-powered mirror held up to humanity. Equal parts hilarious, horrifying, and humbling. So which of these facts blew your prehistoric mind? Did you watch the finale live and realize how dark it was? Or did you find out years later? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed our video, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And if you want to stay updated on more deep dives into the weirdest corners of 90s television, hit that notification bell. Because remember, extinction may be forever, but nostalgia is eternal.